Okay, we've got lots to talk about with UFOs today, so get in here. This is Jack with Cosmic Road. I talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please hit like and subscribe and let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Okay, to start with, from Red Sky Blue, there has been an increase in sphere-shaped UFOs in the last few years across the world, such as this one here in Russia. And she shares this video of this sphere-shaped UFO, this orb, coming up from around this building in Russia. Very interesting. Some sort of telecommunications business. Is that a news station? What is that? I don't know. It's got a lot of antennas on there. Could that be what motivated the UFO to go there? Who knows, guys? Who knows? Is it keeping tabs on this building? Could it be foreign adversary technology? Foreign to them. Could it be us? Could it be us, guys, spying on whatever this building is doing here? Or is that a genuine anomalous object? Who knows, guys? Or do you think it's a balloon or something? Let me know what you think this object is. I don't think this is CGI. I don't think this is a balloon. But let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you know what this building is and why that UFO might be hanging out there, I would be very interested to find out. Meanwhile, check this out. James Fox says the program is done. That's right. James Fox's new documentary, The Program, is finally finished. He says, and just like that, the program is done. It was a very tough production. The short timeline and external factors being ripped off, and we've gone into that before, James has, that significantly added to an already challenging project. Alas, when the going gets tough, the tough get going. That's right. Well, they are going to the finish line. That's right. James Fox at the finish line of the program. So yeah, I can't wait to see what he's got in store for us. Hopefully it'll be another gangbusters documentary. I've loved all of his documentaries. Out of the Blue was really important to me when I was first getting into UFOs and studying a lot of the historical context of UFOs and, really solidifying a lot of that in my mind. And of course, Moment of Contact is brilliant, shedding a light on this little known UFO incident, this crash with aliens running around. And of course, The Phenomenon is a terrific movie, which I encourage all newbies on the subject to watch. So can't wait for the program. Meanwhile, MSN is reporting on Atlantis. That's right, MSN reporting on Atlantis. The lost island of Atlantis may have been found 2 kilometers under the ocean. Some people believe that in the Atlantic Ocean, lying west of the Strait of Gibraltar, lies the legendary island of Atlantis. The island itself is thought to have been created by the philosopher Plato. His tale of a fabled civilization that the gods plunged into the ocean as a punishment for its citizens' pride and arrogance has survived thousands of years. And now researchers think they may have found Plato's inspiration for such a legend. In an area north of the Canary Islands, Spain, scientists have uncovered a vast submerged mountain that likely sank off the coast of the islands millions of years ago. And the article goes on showing us this sunken mountain. And, it's interesting, but it's not like they're finding ancient ruins or anything. So I don't think this is Atlantis. This is just a sunken mountain, but it's really interesting. And could it be that Atlantis sank in much the same way? Always possible. Either way, I thought it was really cool that MSN is talking about Atlantis. We've got more and more, media outlets covering UFOs in a favorable way now. And now they're starting to get jiggy with it, guys. We've got Atlantis on MSN. Love it. Love it. Meanwhile, another cool UFO sighting posted by Jaime Maussan. What is most likely a UAP cube has been captured over this volcano. So let's check it out. Okay, a UAP cube over a volcano. I guess that is the cube. It doesn't look real cubey, but okay, it's a cube. Either way, I would like to see this in real time. This would make a lot more sense, I think, if it was in real time. But it is what it is, and we've got this weird object seeming to possibly be coming or going from this volcanic caldera. So, yeah, and we've seen this many times. Why are UFOs interested in volcanoes? Are they coming and going from subterranean cities and they don't care about the heat? Or do they care about the heat and they're drawing energy from the volcano? Or are they just studying it? I don't know, guys. Let me know what you think the UFO's interest in volcanoes is. Are they possibly interested in, earthquakes and stuff like that? And maybe they're preventing earthquakes. Who knows, guys? Who knows? But what I do know is that Will Gallison, who has come to the defense of the Nazca mummies, is actually a pretty good singer. I had no idea.
Got marvelous machines that can cook and drive and clean.
Okay, pretty good, man. Pretty good. I'll link to this and you can watch the full thing at your leisure. I don't want to get a copyright claim. But you go, Will. You go, Will. Okay, check it out, guys. This is actually pretty epic. All right, AATIP releases 1,500 pages of UFO documents. This is wild, guys. This is wild. Stephen Kent is very nicely breaks this down for us and gives us individual links to different articles. And, this is the summary of one talking about cloaking theory, invisibility cloaking theory. And this is just the summary. I wanted to know if they had actually done anything. Had they invented a cloaking device? Did they have hands-on, cloaking technology? Well, the summary just says a cloaking device is a passive device made of a transparent material that guides light around any object in its interior as if the light has passed through empty space. And it says this stuff could be made, not perfect cloaking, but imperfect cloaking could be made. I'm sure it's already been made. I think we've probably seen evidence of that. But either way, these are some of the documents that have come out in this massive AATIP dump. 1,500 documents released from AATIP. This is really incredible. This is metamaterials for aerospace applications, talking about plasmonic molecules slowing light, which is really interesting. The idea of plasmonics and plasmoids has come to the fore lately, and it looks like AATIP was working with that. So I'm really curious about this emerging technology with these plasmics and plasmoids, and what exactly they're able to provide for us. What technologies will that lead to? Very, very interesting. Very interesting that AATIP was working on this. But I will let you peruse this at your leisure. So far, I haven't found anything like super juicy in the AATIP document dump. But hopefully there will be something juicy that's like concrete and that's not just theory or scientific inquiry. So again, if you've seen it, let me know. So I'm hoping for something juicy in here. Of course, if it was super juicy, they probably wouldn't have released it. But there you go, guys. And there's a bunch of the documents right there. Okay, moving on. A quote from Lou Elizondo's book Eminent. It turned out that almost all the people in Will's studies, and Will I think is actually Kit Green. I think that's the name that Lou is using for Kit Green, which is interesting. I don't know why Kit Green needs a pseudonym, because everybody knows who Kit Green is. Dr. Green, who sat on the weird desk of the CIA, involved in the remote viewing. Really interesting figure in a lot of this. So yeah, but maybe he didn't want his name associated with this information, and so Lou is forced to use a pseudonym. I'm really interested in that. Or maybe Lou is revealing stuff here that Will is not allowed to talk about, and so that's why the pseudonym. Either way, and I'm saying Will, Kit Green. It turned out that almost all the people in Will/Kit studies, military and intelligence officials with remote viewing abilities and or UAP encounters and biological effects, had Native American DNA, specifically Cherokee blood. And I've heard this several times before. The most often, apparently from the research I've seen, the people that are most frequently abducted by the beings are Native Americans, and also, interestingly, the Irish. And I've talked about this before. I don't know why this is the case, but This is what people are finding and talking about in several different instances. Hard to corroborate any of that, but really, really interesting. But what about Cherokee blood? I was wondering, okay, well, if the Cherokees are more closely associated, with UFOs than most people, what do they believe? What are their beliefs? Because I don't know much about Cherokee beliefs. Well, they believe in God, which is not too dissimilar from the Christian idea of God. I'm going to mispronounce that name. Well, okay, well, here's the pronunciation. Okay, thank you, Google. Unet La Nahi, the Cherokee word for God or Great Spirit, considered to be a divine spirit with no human form. They don't practice shamanism, interestingly. They believe the world should have balance, harmony, cooperation, and respect within the community and between people and the rest of nature. Cherokee myths and legends taught the lessons and practices necessary to maintain a natural balance. Ooh, excuse me, still fighting the sickness a little bit, just getting over it, a little congested. Cherokee myths and legends taught the lessons and practices necessary to maintain natural balance, harmony, and health. Okay, well, very interesting. That all sounds very nice. I like that. But why is it that Native Americans and apparently the Irish seem to be abducted more than most people? I would love to hear your speculations about that in the comments below. And of course, I think this is one of those occasions where we need more data. I hate to say that, need more data, but we do need more data. We need to have this corroborated, and we need to know what numbers they've been looking at. Is it 8 out of 10? Cherokees get abducted, or in a sample size of 1,000 abductees, is it 50 that are Cherokee and 50 that are Irish, and that's just a little bit more than the 40 in the rest of the general population? What exactly are we looking at? I would love hard numbers on this and what the sample sizes are. Either way, really, really interesting. Another really interesting thing that has come out from Lou's book is in the acknowledgement section. This is being reported by Engaging the Phenomenon with some additional comments by Pavel Ibarra Meta. Engaging the Phenomenon says it's out there now, talking about the acknowledgement section where Lou Elizondo says, "Thank you to Dan Farah of Farah Films, who helped make this book happen. I'm also grateful to be featured in Dan's groundbreaking UAP disclosure documentary, which I think will change a lot of minds about this topic." So yeah, is this the new documentary? The mystery second documentary that may or may not drop later this year. We've been teased that there are 2 upcoming documentaries. We've got Lou's book, we've got a UFO hearing, and we've got 2 documentaries to look forward to for the rest of the year, theoretically. But we don't have any information on that second documentary. Obviously, the first is James Fox's documentary, The Program. But what about that second? Could it be made by Dan Farah, who Lou is talking about here? Pavel Ibarra says that Dan Farah also produced Steven Spielberg's Ready Player One, and he bought the rights for Tom DeLonge's Secret Machines. Now, I actually read Secret Machines, a pretty good read, which, the idea of Secret Machines is fact disguised as fiction. And I'm really curious how much is fact and how much is fiction. However, if this is a documentary based on Tom DeLonge stuff, it probably wouldn't be Secret Machines, since that is a novel. It would probably be based on God's Secret Machines, God's Man in War series. But we don't know if it's related to Tom DeLonge at all. It could well be about Lou Elizondo. After all, Lou Elizondo is the one talking about Dan in the acknowledgement section of his book. And Lou says he's going to be featured in Dan's groundbreaking disclosure documentary. So by featured, does he mean he's the central figure in that documentary, or is he just one of multiple figures and, talking heads in that documentary? I guess we'll find out as we get closer to the release of that documentary. But let me know your thoughts and theories about all of that in the comments below. Meanwhile, from UAP Files podcast comes this really cool UFO footage captured by a drone.
One shooting left, one shooting right. I was amazed. So I said, I got to show my buddies this footage. I showed one of my buddies a photographer and the other a videographer. I said, what is it? Is it a lens flare, or am I flying it in such a way that the sun is catching it? Or they're like, no, we've never seen that before. And I said, well, I've certainly not seen it before. I've seen footage. I showed one of my buddies a photographer and the other a videographer. I said, what is it? Is it a lens flare, or
I mean, are they just coming out of the ground? That's kind of what it looks like, right? I mean, we've seen this on Skinwalker Ranch where a UFO will go in one side of the mesa and come out of the other. They seem to be able to pass through solid rock at will. And I think I even saw one do that once. My first UFO sighting, whatever I saw, if it was an actual UFO, it was moving super fast. Hard to tell for sure. But I've kind of debunked all the mundane explanations I can for it. But whatever this thing was, it was going right into the ground at very fast speeds. And so here we have these objects potentially emerging from the solid ground. Did they go in somewhere over these mountains or something and they are just passing through the earth and then coming back out? Or are they coming and going from, again, subterranean cities or, something like that? Is there some big alien dwelling under this lake potentially? Because we've heard how they like water. They like living underwater, some of them. So is that what's going on? Or are they looking for resources? What are they doing down there? If indeed that's what's going on at all, and maybe you have totally different theories about what these UFOs are doing, or if they're UFOs at all. So let me know your theories about this really intriguing footage, and of course I'll link to it, and you can watch the full thing at your leisure. Meanwhile, this was sent to me by Spooky the Bee, so thank you, Spooky. I appreciate that. This is from the War Zone. Palmdale UFO scare leads to revelations about mystery drone incursions over secretive Plant 42. Intriguing. Say on, Warzone. The U.S. Air Force's Plant 42 in California, America's premier hub for advanced aerospace development work, especially highly classified military programs, has seen a wave of mysterious drone incursions in recent months. The incidents have now become serious enough to prompt the Federal Aviation Administration to impose new, if temporary, flight restrictions around the sprawling, high-security facility. The Air Force acknowledged these incidents in response to our questions about purported sightings of UFOs in the area, which became viral on social media over the weekend, and that local law enforcement appears to have received no reports about. Palmdale Regional Airport shares the runways with Plant 42, which is home to Lockheed Martin's famed Skunk Works Advanced Projects Division, as well as similar reports of both Northrop Grumman and Boeing. NASA also has a flight testing center there. As a prime example of the work that goes on at Plant 42, it is where Northrop Grumman has been building the U.S. Air Force's new B-21 Raider stealth bombers. America's most sensitive and bleeding edge aerospace weaponry emerges from this facility, so security at the installation, which is located in a relatively urban area, is taken very seriously. Yeah, well, I guess so. We have observed multiple UAS, that's uncrewed aerial systems, sometimes used as a term for UFOs. We have observed multiple UAS activities over Plant 42 during the last few months. The number of UASs fluctuated, and they ranged in size and configuration. The FAA was made aware of the incursions, and Edwards continues to monitor the airspace to ensure the safety of base personnel, facilities, and assets. As a reminder to drone enthusiasts, overflight of Plant 42 is strictly prohibited and may result in criminal prosecution, fines, and loss of operator privileges. Now, I have a hard time believing that these guys, these Lockheed Martin, Skunk Works, Northrop Grumman, all these folks would not be able to dissuade drones from operating over their space, conventional drones. These, in my mind, these have got to be something else. But let me know your theories in the comments below. The restrictions, which don't allow any UAS, lift in September 15th. So it'll be really curious to see if that stops the UAS activity there. Will there be more, anomalous or at least unknown visitors over that airspace? Will that continue? If it does, then, definitely my mind goes even more toward an anomalous explanation. But if it stops all of a sudden because of this restriction, that'll be really interesting too. Let me know what you think is going to happen. Let me know what you think about it all in the comments below. And if you've enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up. I sure appreciate it. Smash the like button and the subscribe button and the bell to be notified of future videos. If you don't want to miss a thing, join me on social media, Facebook and Twitter, links below. Love to see you guys there. If you want to support Cosmic Road in an even bigger way, consider grabbing a coffee mug or a t-shirt in the merch store below, or by becoming a channel member, because channel members are rock stars. And I really appreciate you guys' support. Thank you so much. Meanwhile, there's plenty of other videos on the channel. And I'll see you guys next time. This is Jack with Cosmic Road, signing out.